I haven't seen them for a while, and when I do, they have a mask on, so I'm learning everyone's eyes and up, right? But how we're dealing with it is now we're getting creative with how to involve our students. The opportunities to engage them. So one example is last night we had our Welcome to the Nest event, and working with Mr. Hicks as he organized that, our students presented to our future incoming class of 2025.
With another episode of our Above the Bar interviews. Today we have Rio Rico High School Principal, Mr. Hector Estrada. So Mr. Estrada, congratulations on your recent award, and we'll talk about that in a second. But why don't you tell everybody about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mr. Verdugo. Happy to be here. Super honored and humbled to be part of the Bar. Like Mr. Verdugo said, my name's Hector Estrada. I'm from Sahuarita area, and family grew up there. Fun fact, my dad and Mr. Fanning, the mayor of Rio Rico, went to high school together. So, knowing the people in the community for a really long time is kind of where I grew up. And yeah, super excited that I'm down here and love that I'm in my second year here at Rio Rico, and moved down here to the community as soon as I was board approved, literally a month after that, and enjoying every bit of it right now. So.
Well, great. Well, we're glad to have you here. So one of the reasons that we have you on our episode today is that you recently were named the GCU State Principal of the Month for February, which is a great honor. But I know that when we presented you with that award, one of the things that you talked about was that it's more of a staff award. So why don't you explain a little bit about what you meant by that it's more of a staff award than it is an honor for you individually?
Yeah, so I have to give, shout out to my entire team here. I refer to everyone as the faculty of Rio Rico High School, so we're one group, combining that staff and faculty together. And the reason being is when 2020 hit and things closed down, we wanted to make sure that we still celebrated our kids. And as we brainstormed in the rooms of what to do, it was all of us and what we, talked about doing and highlighting our kids. And it was the faculty here at Rio Rico High School just stepping up to not let our kids go without. And that's why I think it's recognizing our whole school when the basketball team wins, it says Rio Rico Hawks on their jersey, right? So when our teachers and our great people are nominated and recognized, they're representing Rio Rico, and so celebrate our achievements together as one group. So that's why their dedication, and I'm a big team guy, and on back of my jersey, it doesn't say Mr. Estrada, it says Rio Rico High School, and on the front it says SCV 35. And so we all win when people are recognized.
That's awesome. That's great. So with the award, I know you got a nice plaque and all of those type of things, which is great. But in talking to your staff, what are some of the things that they mentioned to you after the award? Because as I know that you received a lot of compliments and comments from them. What are some of the things that they shared with you?
Yeah, so they were super excited and happy for the award. One of the comments that I saw from a teacher that's been here for a long time, as it was, this the chat in our virtual world was going, was it's about time. And I thought that was kind of funny because it's only here in my second year. So that was a great comment. And another comment that a staff member said, was, Mr. Estrada checked in on me and my family when he didn't have to check in on my family. He's like, I've been in leadership in my previous role for a long time, and no one's ever asked how my personal life was going. And he just mentioned that those little things is what adds up. And so recalling all the reasons why, the respect was there for the award from different members was exciting.
and that's great. And I think that that's a tribute to, again, your leadership and well-deserved award. So kind of shifting a little bit. So now this is year 2 as principal of Rio Rico High School. And really, you only got to be in the position with regular school up until about a year ago. So then we had to shift because of the pandemic and things like that. So what has been the most difficult challenge? Because I know you're a person that's very student-centered, and being with the students is important. So I know that would probably be your biggest challenge of how you're dealing with it. But how are you dealing with the pandemic and the change of not being able to see your students on a daily basis?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mr. Verdugo. The number one challenge for me personally is I don't know our students. March closed, and I was getting to know everybody, and now when I see them, I haven't seen them for a while, and when I do, they have a mask on, so I'm learning everyone's eyes and up, right? But how we're dealing with it is now we're getting creative with how to involve our students. The opportunities to engage them. So one example is last night we had our Welcome to the Nest event, and working with Mr. Hicks as he organized that, our students presented to our future incoming class of 2025. And so engaging with our kids on the screen and putting them in charge of their school and giving them the ownership has allowed me to keep those connections and relationships alive with our kids, and has allowed our staff to have that experience as well. Another thing, to stay connected, there's nothing like being ground zero with everyone. And so I'm teaching a class this semester. I have a 3rd period class. So fortunate or unfortunately for my 19 students that I have there, right, I'm getting to know them. They're getting to know me. So I'm teaching the AP English class. And, when I made the decision to do that, it was to provide the best for our students. And it was 19 kids I was going to know really, really well at the end of this thing. So I kind of saw that as a victory.
And I think maybe in a positive way, a little bit selfish for you to get back with the kid, because I know that it's something as an administrator that we miss the most of being in that daily contact and with the students.
Yeah, for sure. When you step out of the classroom, as you know, you leave that everyday 55-minute connection. And so definitely selfishly getting back in there for, help me out.
Yeah. So some other positive things that have happened to you, along with the award. You were recently married, and so that's a significant change in, family status and things like that. So how has that been for you, now that you, as a principal, newly married, all of those different things, how has that been?
Yeah, well, it's super exciting. It was a great day. We got married this past October. And, pros and cons with the COVID world. Cons is we couldn't invite a ton of people, but it was intimate with everyone that mattered. So that was awesome. It was probably the best day of my life. So that was great. And so how I deal with it is communicate, obviously, really, really well with my wife, Mel, and my stepson, Casey, who's at the high school. He's a sophomore, and Mel works here with our district. So they kind of know it's a whole family team effort, right? And there's gonna be some long nights where we're here hanging out, and there's gonna be some weekends where we enjoy our personal time. And so it's been going really well to experience everything new with them when we moved down here to Rio Rico, and really, becoming part of the community, and them trusting me and coming with me down here and just engulfing ourselves, right? And Casey loves being a Hawk, and coming to school and being a student. He's in theater, and it's great to be a part of that too, as a father figure, So we've just been enjoying our time down here and engaging when we can together here at school, going to the athletic events as a family. And Casey will and Nell will be in the stands and rooting just as hard while I'm, working, but cheering on our team. And so that way we spend the quality time, outside of that 8 to 4 time really well.
Which is great. And I think that's part of the family atmosphere that we're, developing our community and at school and in the district and specifically at Rio Rico High School with you as a leader. So if you had to pick one of your favorite positive things that have happened over the last year and a half, or more that you've been the principal, what would you say has been one of the favorite things that you've enjoyed of being the principal at Rio Rico High School?
Yeah. Number one is seeing our students take charge of their school, seeing their voice come to fruition. That's the most important thing to me. I tell my team and our staff, I always remind them, we've all had our high school experience, and our job is to make our students' high school experience the best ever. And any time that they speak up and have that voice to share what's important to them, to vote on what they want to do, to give input, and then we take it into action. That's been number one. It was starting to develop really well in that first year, and we didn't let it fall off as we went, remote and closed. Like the parade that happened for the class of 2020, they voted on that. That was their voice, and now it's carrying through to this school year where we have students doing the announcements and sharing their voice, regularly. Students leading extracurricular activities, so they're presenting. Students being game management behind our athletics, so they can lead. And we're gonna get to where our students are broadcasting and doing play-by-play and hyping up the play coming up, and that's been the most awesome thing. And second to that is seeing our faculty buy into that and see how much it means to build relationships and those connections with our kids, to give them that charge, and just seeing how our faculty is shifting to that. It's been awesome to watch.
That's great, and I enjoy watching the Dirty Birds and all of the things that they're doing, and all of the connection that they're making with the staff. And I know that's only going to get better as we come back. So we're scheduled to return with a hybrid on March 15th, right after spring break. How excited are you and the staff for that return, to at least have half of our students, or on campus?
All right, we can't wait. We're going to come up with, we talked about having hype songs playing in each pod, building that community again when they're here. We have a pretty good sound system that we invested in to have that vibe, that party for our kids. So, yesterday we had our faculty meeting, our last one until, we come back from hybrid, and everyone, we're going to get through this week and a half, and we can't wait for our kids to come back. And I told everyone, the last thing I said in our faculty meeting was, cherish the moments in the fourth quarter with our kids in the classroom. Do some things that you couldn't do while they've been remote. And so, yeah, we're super, super pumped. We'll probably play hype songs and walkout songs like every morning as they get off the bus and set that tone, and we're just excited to have them back.
Yeah, and I know that's again, from the connection standpoint, it's a big thing. So speaking of other connections and things of attracting our middle school students, I know you recently had an event for them, but there's a lot of new construction that's going to be starting at Rio Rico High School. How excited are you about the new facilities and the new opportunities that we'll be able to bring for not only the current students, but future students?
Yeah, and I was just talking about this yesterday with our new coach, Coach Stolman, boys basketball coach, and sharing that how exciting it's going to be for our kids to have everything that a high school kid that's involved in fine arts, athletics, to everything. We're going to have a dream facilities. Right now the current media center, which is being transformed for the Performing Arts Center, is under construction. And as you know, Mr. Ellison is great at what he does, winning an award recently with our theater. I'm just so excited that our kids are going to get to perform in places that are going to be top of the line. In my opinion, it's going to be better than a lot of mid-major athletic fields and compounds and performing arts stages. So yeah, I'm super excited. Yesterday, the Hawks with an X, which is our dance team, they performed in the courtyard. And so just the eagerness to see them on stage and to be able to host a dance showcase and to see future dancers that are in first grade, second grade in our community come and perform with the Hawks at our high school on our stage, you know. And I know Mr. Ellison's bridged that middle school transition for the fine arts program, and just being able to watch all those individuals perform in our Performing Arts Center on the weekends and host those things for our community. So I'm really excited about the big picture and the vision that the district has, and yourself, Mr. Verdugo. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now watching it all come up.
Well, great. Well, we think it's, again, you're obviously a big part of that and connecting that with our students and bringing that, not only do we have the facilities, but then bringing that to life, because I think that's the piece of it. We can have all the facilities in the world, but if there's nobody there to use them and put them, bring them to life, then that doesn't mean anything. So, thank you for that, and your commitment to our students and the faculty at Rio Rico High School, and thank you for joining me today. Appreciate it. And again, this is Mr. Estrada, Rio Rico High School principal, and the state principal of the month for February. Again, congratulations for that. But again, this is our Above the Bar interview. Thank you.
Thank you.